It's time to place your bets. Let's step into the huddle.
You're listening to the PreSnap Podcast Weekly Wagering Show, brought to you by LineStar App, the top-rated DFS tool set and #1 companion for DraftKings, FanDuel, and Yahoo Daily Fantasy. Go LineStar Premium now at LineStarApp.com. Now, here are your hosts, Joe Pisapia and Scott Bogman.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? It's me, Joey P, Joe Pisapia, and welcome to the PreSnap right here on the LineStar app. It is me, it is Scott Bogman, and it's you, and it's time to pick some games for Week 10. It's the wagering show, courtesy of the LineStar app, the greatest DFS tool site in the history of the universe. Go there, get it, upgrade to that premium product, keep us all employed. Like, it's 2020. Go there. You waited all this time. It's Week 10. What are you waiting for already? You've been listening to the podcast. You've been hanging out with me and Boggs. Come on, join the party with us. Get that LineStar app today. Get it on the phone. I'm telling you, if you're playing DFS now, maybe some of your season-long leagues are not going your way. I can understand. It's been a tough year for injuries. This is a time to kind of transfer some of that over into some of the wagering into obviously some of the DFS shares. And maybe we can make up some ground here. There's still plenty of time left in the NFL season. Boggs, we've got a fun group of games this week in Week 10. We've got some returns. We got some guys who are missing again. But basically, I think we're actually kicking things off here on Thursday night, actually, with a fun contest. And now we've got some really good games here to pick this weekend. So are you ready for some football?
Let's dive right in, Joey. Let's go.
Oh, I love it. I want to dive straight in. By the way, are you a diving board guy? Are you a guy that likes to? Are you a guy who jumps in the pool, or are you like to have to get in slowly and get the water temperature and your body temperature all together?
Kidding me? No. I used to do landscaping in Arizona. So and we have a pool. So when I would come home, or a lot of it was just at home landscaping, I would dive right into that pool with my clothes on and everything. Didn't matter. I just whatever cools me down the fastest. That's what I'm.
There you go.
So diving board, no diving board, whatever. Just jump right in.
You know, when I was younger, I would not just jump right in. You know what? I would be one of the people. I'm going to go down the stairs or the thing. Now I'm old. Now I just go. I feel like you jump into the diving board, you feel much better, and all of this is making me long for the summer, and it's cold here because I live in New Jersey and you're in Arizona, so this is a terrible discussion.
It's cold here too. It's like
it's cold.
65.
Oh my God, it's 64 degrees. Yeah, exactly. Cold, mate. You a cold. You know what cold is, my friend. You know, there was a week here a couple of years ago where it didn't get above zero. And
how many times did it hit 118 out there?
Well, not any time. So, but that's another thing too. All the people with the extreme weather who live in that, like it's 118 all the time, or like the people who live in Minnesota where it's snowing in July. I say to them, you don't have to live here. You can move. You don't have to take this climate. You don't have to deal with this. I like the seasons.
Yeah, and also the heat is bearable. Just stay inside and don't go outside. It's too hot to be out there when it's that hot anyway. And I know it gets hot enough in New York and New Jersey and back east to not want to go outside too. It's just different. Yeah, it's overwhelming. And that's the thing is, when it gets hot there, it gets hot and it's miserable. But when the sun goes down, you're okay. That's not the case here. When the sun goes down, it goes from 118 to 102. It's not like you can open the window, So it's just brutally hot for 4 straight months.
Tangent here. This has been a
Well, look, we're more focused on weather now.
That's right.
That it's the time. Look, there's not a ton of crazy weather this week. There is some wind going on in the Jacksonville and Green Bay game. It's supposed to be
transition. That was very smooth, by the way. Very nice.
26 miles per hour in that game. Then let's see. Any other games? 23 miles an hour.
You've been listening to the PreSnap Podcast Weekly Wagering Show, brought to you by LineStar. Hit subscribe, drop a rating, tell a friend, and stay tuned for the next episode from Joe Pisapia and Scott Bogman.
We're getting 40, 50 mile an hour winds in that 16-6 Vegas and Cleveland game in Cleveland, obviously. But nothing to that extreme so far. But when we recorded this show for that game, the winds were supposed to be 22 to 24 miles an hour. So make sure you're paying attention to the weather and all that stuff before you.
Well, speaking of Cleveland, Let's start with Cleveland and whatever weather's happening there. Regardless, they're going to have to weather the Houston Texans. Cleveland is 3.5-point favorites. The number is 49.5. I will kick things off here. Give me Cleveland. I think Cleveland will win this game. The Houston defense is just so bad. It would not shock me if Houston won this game, though, just because of what Baker Mayfield had to go through this past week, not being on the field the entire time. But, regardless, I think
he was back on Wednesday. He's got enough time.
But even so, you got Chubb coming back in this game against the Houston Texans defense, which is absolutely terrible. You're going to have him. You're going to have Hunt. You're going to have all hands on deck here. And look, I'm going to take Cleveland. I'll take Cleveland to cover the 3.5 too. And I'm going to take the over in this one. So I think you and I are in lockstep here.
Yeah, I'm Cleveland and the over as well. I think this one, I like Houston, and they have been playing much better football ever since Bill O'Brien's been gone. I think that was kind of a weight lifted off of a lot of players' shoulders. And I think Cleveland has probably played over their head here, but that Houston D is banged up. So I think this is an easy over, as long as that wind doesn't get crazy, like we mentioned. And this is Cleveland for me. I like Houston, but I don't think they get it done this week on the road.
Now we've got Philly at the Giants here, and another great NFC East matchup here, right? We go, another great NFC East game. Eagles are favored by 3.5, 44.5 is the number. Boggs, why don't you start us off with this one?
Do you know that the Eagles still have a better chance to win their division at 3-4-1 than the Steelers do at 8-0?
Oh, God, that's stunning.
Isn't that terrible? Yeah, that's the way it goes. That's life. Look, you have mentioned so many times about how the Giants, all they do is cover. All they do is cover. And I absolutely agree with that. They've been playing some, good enough football recently. I wouldn't call it good. I definitely wouldn't call it great. I would say they've been playing good enough. But I think Philly is more healthy now. We're getting Jalen Reagor back for a second week. Travis Fulgham has come into his own. They get Miles Sanders back this week as well. So I just, there's no way I can take the Giants. They're not good. They've been playing better. They've been playing inspired, and I like that for Joe Judge and the future of the Giants. But for this year, I think Philly's going to have too much. So I'm going to take them in this game. Over under, I don't know where to go with this one. I'm going to take the under just because Philly's offense can turn the ball over, and the Giants don't play good offense. So I'm going to take the under in this game, but this is easy Philly for me.
Every smart person I know is taking Philly on all sides of this game. And it's you, it's Bernie Ricciardi, it's all the smart people that I work with. Therefore, I'm going to take the Giants. I'm going to be the stupid guy. Philly's going to win the game. Philly will find a way to win because the Giants give up games. But you know what? I'm going to go with the Giants here to cover. I'm going to stay with the trend, even though maybe it's time to get off the trend. And yeah, the Eagles are getting healthy and Goddard and Sanders and all that stuff. I will take the over in this game too, because sloppiness sometimes leads to points. And have we learned nothing yet this year? Tampa Bay at Carolina. Tampa's 5-point favorites after getting shellacked at home. 50.5 is the number. Look, I'll say this. Tampa definitely is going to come out ready to win this game for sure. If they had Christian McCaffrey, I'd feel a little bit different about this 5. But I think they're going to carry it. I think they win this game by a touchdown. If this were 6 or 6.5, I might get a little worried, but the 5 is actually a good number in my opinion. I'll take Tampa, and I will take the over in this game too, because I think Carolina is still capable in garbage time, at least putting up some points there. Teddy B has played very well, and I think Joe Brady's done a great job of calling plays there this year. So what's your take here on the Tampa Bay game?
I'm a little waffly. I mean, I do think Tampa Bay.
I love waffles. I love waffles with chicken. I love waffles with ice cream. I just love waffles. Like I'll waffle all day. Give me some waffles.
See if
waffles are good at any time. The only time we don't have waffles much is at lunchtime. But then again, like I guess chicken and waffles you can have at lunch.
Yeah, so, you couldn't. Come on, you could have waffles at any point.
Also, I love waffles. If you don't like waffles, I question you as a human.
Well, you're gonna love me in this game then, because I'm definitely waffling on who to take against the spread. It's already dropped a little bit. A lot of money going towards Carolina, I know, in this game because they're scrappy and they play tough. You mentioned this. They have a different swagger on top of their swagger this year. And Matt Rule's been doing a great job with that team. But I'm going to take an angry Tom Brady narrative here. Got embarrassed on national TV last week. I think they're going to put up points on points on points on points. And I think they might be able to get most of this over themselves. So give me Tampa Bay, give me the over.
Yeah, I could see that too. All right, Washington at Detroit. This is always hard. These kind of games are always difficult. 4.5 on the Detroit side right now. Boggs, you get to go first on this one.
Okay.
This guy, I mean, I would happily go first on this one, but you get to go first.
All right. So here's what I see. Yeah, we have no number in this game, and I think it's because Matt Stafford has to pass concussion protocol. For his, as it was described by, I think, one of the Lions beat writers, a brain injury, which is a concussion, which is technically a brain injury, but we call them concussions. So, he has to pass concussion protocol in this game. That's why the line's off. I'm going to take Washington on the road in this game. Washington's not good, but Detroit hasn't been playing well either. So I'm not going to buy in on this team. I don't think Patricia is a very good coach. I think Ron Rivera should be able to have his guys do enough, even though it's not Kyle Allen and it's Alex Smith. Give me Washington in this straight up and against the spread.
That's my pause, and my pause is the downgraded quarterback to Alex Smith here. For not that Kyle Allen is super, but I mean, I'll go take Detroit to win this game. I will take Washington to cover, though. This is just not a game where I think this is by a field goal. The 4.5 right now is too big of a number, in my opinion. I just don't think that's smart. Jacksonville at Green Bay. Everybody knows how I feel about this one. I think this is going to be a blowout. I think Green Bay is just in a whole other class than the Jacksonville Jaguars. The weather's going to be an issue potentially in this game too. 50.5 is the number. Give me Green Bay for sure in this game. And I got to tell you, I think I'm a little worried about Jacksonville scoring points in this game. I am. I really am. You got a rookie quarterback on the road making his second start. I would run away from this 50.5 because this feels right there for me. Like, Jacksonville's really got to keep up pace a little bit to get to this over. I will say under, but I'm not happy about it. Like, I would take Green Bay. I actually think they're going to win this by 2 touchdowns easily. I think the 12.5 is actually pretty good, but I am not confident in the 50.5. I got to be honest with you. I think this is too good of a number, therefore run away from it. But for the sake of us being men on the show, picking every single game that we possibly can, that's where I'd go. How about you, Boggs?
Yeah, even though we're manly men, I would pull my skirt up and run from this game. I don't want to bet this one either way. I've been eaten alive by these big numbers and laying them recently. So I'm going to, and I think my willingness to do so is because I talk a lot of college football, and most lines are double digits in college football. A lot of lines are double digits. So, but in this one, I'm going to Green Bay is going to win this game. I don't think there's a question about that. I am going to take Jacksonville because I've gotten beat up on these lines. But like I said, I would not bet this game. And the thing that you hate about this game in taking the under, that's actually what I'm most convinced is going to be right in this game is the under,
interesting,
because of the weather and because of the potential for Green Bay to get up early. And if Jacksonville is having problems scoring, I mean, Green Bay is going to run the ball a ton and run that clock out. So
it's like 30-13 for me.
Something.
Like, that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah. I mean, I could see it being 28-3, something like that. But I'm going to take Jacksonville. I'm going to take Jacksonville because of this big number, and I've been getting beat on those, and I'm going to take the under in this one.
All right, Buffalo at Arizona. This is a fun one. Arizona's 2-point favorites. I want Arizona to win this game. I'm rooting for Arizona to win this game, but I am not going to bet with my heart here. So, Boggs, why don't you start us off, because I think you like the Arizona side of this one.
I do. I'm going to take the Cardinals both against the spread and straight up, and give me the over. Look, Buffalo's defense, it's better against the pass, but Kyler Murray has proven he can run. Kenyon Drake has a chance to be back. It looks like he probably will be back as it stands right now. But even if it's him or Chase Edmonds or combined, they're going to be able to run against this Bills defense. And the Bills, they played good last week, but the 4 games, I would reference the 4 games before last week, they were not playing at their peak. So hopefully they don't revert back to that, and we get a nice close game with a big over. That's what we're hoping for. We want a lot of fantasy production in this one. So I'll take the Cardinals, and I'll take the over because I don't trust the Bills.
I don't trust the Bills either, but I'm going to take them in this game. They play more defense, I think, or they're capable of it than Arizona is right now. And Arizona's defenses look good, but they've looked good against some suspect offenses right now.
I wouldn't even say they look good.
Well,
I think you're doing a favor there. They've looked
look, they've been
middle
They've been
of the road.
opportunistic. Is that a better
Yeah.
way to say opportunistic? They've made some plays on defense. They've created a few turnovers, and I think that's giving us a false impression of them. I'm rooting so hard for Arizona in this game because I think it's fun. So much for my East Coast bias, but I'm gonna pick the Bills in this game. I am. I'll take the Bills.
Straight up
the Bills
and against the spread.
Yeah, 100%, baby. I'm taking them. Give me the Bills to up. I guess maybe this is my upset special of the week. We'll find out. But I'll take the over on this one as well. I do think this one will go over the 56, even though it's a very high number. I think it will hit it there. Denver at Las Vegas. Vegas Raiders are favored by 4.5. The number is 50.5. I'll start with this one. I'll take the Raiders to win this game, but I'll take Denver to cover. That fourth quarter Drew Lock is just something that I think everyone's got to pay attention to, and how these games are getting closer for them at the end. And honestly, like, I'm just not impressed. Even though Vegas has got a winning record, they're still yet to really impress me. And I just feel like Denver's just going to hang around because it's what Denver does. They grind out clock, and then they try to score a bunch of points at the end, and that's going to make this one probably a backdoor cover in the end. And I don't think people are going to be happy about it at all. It's probably a game where Las Vegas looks like they're winning for 3 quarters, and then the fourth quarter they go, oh no, and then they end up winning. The number is 50.5. I will go over in this game just because anything that's close to 49 or something like that, it's nowadays, it's just more of an over. So that's the way I'm going to go, which I think is very different from you. You are way more confident in the Raiders than I am.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm way more confident. This is not.
I just said it. So you don't have to say it.
This is not a game I would bet. This is
Okay.
not a game I would bet. I'll say that. But I am going to take Vegas, and it's because I hate the fact that it takes 3 quarters for Drew Lock to get going. You know, one of these games, he's just not going to show up at all. And one of these games is going to show up in the first quarter, and they're going to blow someone out. Could it be this game? It could be on either front. So Drew Lock has just shown no consistency at all so far, so I cannot trust him. So for that reason, I'm going to take the Raiders, and I'm going to take the under, because if Drew Lock doesn't have it going, Denver's not going to score a bunch of points. Both running backs have been banged up between Lindsey and Gordon a little bit. No, nothing serious, but bumps and bruises and things like that. And that offense is very young. Noah Fant's young. Jerry Jeudy's a rookie, their number 1 wideout. KJ Hamler's probably their second best receiver, and he's a rookie too. So they're just too young and inconsistent for me to bet on. So give me Vegas. Give me the under.
All right, Los Angeles Chargers at Miami Dolphins. Miami's 2.5-point favorites at home. The number is 48.5. Give me your thoughts on this one.
I mean, in a close game, how the hell could anybody bet on the Chargers?
You can't. On the road, no less. Not that home and road matters as much this year, except for the travel aspect.
I think cross country might.
Maybe.
The travel might, because it is all the way across the country going from Vegas to Miami. So I'm going to take the Dolphins in this game. I think Tua gets going a little bit. Obviously, it hurts to not have Preston Williams or any semblance of a running game at all, but that just means Tua is going to have to throw more, and I think that's what he does best. So give me Miami straight up and against the spread. So I'll lay the 2.5 points, and I'll go over on this one because the Chargers can score. They just can't pull out a win.
That is clearly evident. This is only the third game we agree on. I'm in lockstep with you. Give me Miami with that defense and Tua and the over. I just Chargers got to learn how to win games, which is weird because Anthony Lynn is such I think a very good football coach, and I don't know. He just seems like he has all the intangibles, but there's something about this team that just doesn't finish, and I don't know why, because seems like a really detail-oriented, good coach, and it's a little surprising to me. This next one,
line is bad, and they seem to have so many issues on defense, not only with injuries, but I don't know if you saw last week, Kenneth Murray, who he wears the mic, he has the green dot for them, got benched. They said it was communication issues. He's a rookie running their defense for the first time and everything, but he whiffed on a couple plays last week and he got sat. So I just don't have a lot of confidence in the Chargers right now.
Yeah, I can understand that. Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh obviously favored in this one, 6.5. It's funny because I would think that would be a bigger number. And
yeah, but they're not sure if Ben is going to play, not only because of his COVID stuff, but also he apparently hurt both knees. He was
not
down,
looking good in that game. The number of the over under is 45.5 on this one. I got to say right now, I would actually lock in the 6.5 with Pittsburgh. If it starts to get bigger, I would like the Cincinnati side. That's kind of that's my feeling on this one. But right now, I think this is actually going to be a tight game, but the Pittsburgh Steelers will eventually pull away from it. But it would not shock me to see Cincinnati come out right away and get up on this team. Just would not shock me at all. I'll take the over, but I'm not confident in it because of Pittsburgh's defense. But I think Pittsburgh is a little worn out. They've had, a couple really big games, and I know the Dallas Cowboys aren't any good, but at the same point, it's the Dallas Cowboys. You get up to play the Dallas Cowboys. I don't care who's on the other side of it, especially when you're going to Dallas. It's a national team. It's a national game. It's a big deal. I feel like this has letdown written all over for the Steelers. I do think they will, in the second half, rally and come back in this one. But in terms of respect for what Cincinnati's been able to do, they put up points against good defenses like Indianapolis. So I can't see why they can't put some good points up here in Pittsburgh and, make a lot of Steelers fans a little worried about the future. Can you see Joe Burrow out there slinging the ball? You go, oh man, I don't want to see this for the next 10 years.
Yeah. So, okay. So you're taking Pittsburgh against
I'm taking Pittsburgh, straight up? Pittsburgh, and the over. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to take Pittsburgh to win straight up, but I'm going to take the Bengals. I mean, Look, this is Bengals have been playing better. They've been playing much better, and this is kind of what I've been waiting to see from Zach Taylor. There's also a lot of questions here still. I mean, is Ben going to play? Is Mason Rudolph going to play? If Mason Rudolph plays, I think I might take the Bengals straight up. I have no confidence after watching half a season of Mason Rudolph last year in his ability to lead this team. I mean, you'd expect him to get better and better every year, so maybe I'm not giving him enough credit, but I watched him enough last year to know I'm not betting on him.
No. You're spot on. And let me tell you something. If Roethlisberger's knees do go in the wrong direction here and he's just breaking down physically, this is going to crush the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, because they can't win with Mason Rudolph. They already proved that last year.
The nice thing is that they're 8-0. So they're not too many wins away from a playoff spot. I'd say probably 2 away from a playoff spot at this point. So they don't have to win many to get to the playoffs, and then maybe Ben would be back at that point if there is a serious thing going on with his knees. But I think this is your standard Ben procedure. It's about week 8. You see him grab at his elbow all the time. Now he's grabbing at his knees. He's always a drama queen, and always a little bit banged up. So I'm not surprised by that. But Cincinnati's been playing too well to just let Pittsburgh come in and steamroll them. So I'm going to take Cincinnati, but I am going to take the over in this game because I think it's going to take a bunch of points to beat either team in this game. So give me the over in this one, but I will take the Bengals against the spread.
All right, next on the docket here, we got the New Orleans Saints, 9.5-point favorites over the San Francisco 49ers. It looks like Mostert's probably coming back for this game.
I think he's not coming back. I thought they just said that. Let me double check.
Okay. Like I said, as we're recording this, we're still a little early here on these things. So keep an eye on all these things as we go. But
Raheem Mostert ruled out.
He is officially out. Okay, yeah. There you go. So Mostert is officially out for this game. Look, this should be a New Orleans smash game. They should build on everything that happened. But I've seen enough New Orleans defense to know that it's not always as easy as that. And that's where I struggle. If San Francisco was healthy, this is a whole different game. They're just not. I struggle with this 9.5. I would run away from it. But for right now, I will take New Orleans. I'll take them to cover. And I will take the over in this game too. Just New Orleans should roll now. You got Michael Thomas back. You're at home in that dome. You take advantage of the lack of elements. You take advantage of San Francisco being depleted, and I think you just kind of roll with this. That being said, I'm not confident about it. I got to be honest.
Yeah, I'm lockstep with you, even though I feel like I'm a little more confident than you. I mean, I just said I don't like laying big lines like the Green Bay game, but I'm going to lie this one. It's just San Francisco's too beat up, and they're not what they were last year. This is a worse Super Bowl hangover I think I've seen.
Dude, I talk about it every year, and everybody here, it's so stupid. Everybody laughs at me. And you know what? Every year, by the time we get to this point, they all go, yeah, you're right. It's quite a Super Bowl. That's a real thing. Because it is. It just is. I mean, and we have to understand it. And it's, it's a big, and look, and if Michael Thomas, ends up being questionable, like if he's not 100% healthy, that changes the dynamic of this game quite a bit too.
It does, but I think I would still take the Saints because the Niners don't have their best running back. They don't have their best quarterback. They don't have their best receiving option.
But as good as New Orleans looks against Tampa this year,
it's pass rusher.
They look against most other teams, and that's why New Orleans is a very difficult team to bet.
But when New Orleans is clicking, and they clicked last week,
they did.
They're almost nobody can beat them. They can definitely, like, no one would be shocked if Drew Brees brought the Saints to the Super Bowl again, and that's what they're doing right now. They're on that hot streak. So I think it's easy to take them against a banged up Niners team.
Next on the list here, we got Seattle at the Rams. Rams are 2-point favorites. 55.5 is the number. I don't care what this number was. I'm taking the over in this one. I'm sure you are too. So where do you think this one's going to lay here? Do the Rams kind of win this game and get back into the real conversation of the thick of this division, or is this the final get right game here for Seattle after losing? Let's be honest, Seattle lost their last 2 road games. They have struggled on the road.
Well, this is the worst game of the week to pick, and I would absolutely not put any money on this one because we've seen the Rams look dominant at times, and then we've seen them lose games they should be crushing in sometimes. So I don't know which Rams team we're getting here, but I will say that when you give a Sean McVay offense time to throw the ball, they generally come through. So I'm going to take the Rams against this horrific Seattle defense that we've seen. They're at home here. And the over is maybe the easiest pick of the week.
The over is absolutely easy. I'll take Seattle. I'm going to go the other side of this. We're going to differ again here. I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks. I think Seattle recognizes how much they need this game. Not that the Rams don't. I know the Rams are coming off a bye, but Seattle needs this game. I think there's a little bit more desperation there, and I think the number tells you a little bit too. Usually you're at home, you get that 3 as a base, right? Well, it's 2. So the confidence level is not really there. So if I'm going to notice that, then I'm going to go all the way to the Seattle side. And I'm going to go all the way.
The Rams lost right before their bye week, right?
Yeah, they lost to the Dolphins. Don't you remember?
Yeah, exactly.
The offensive line fell apart, and Jared Goff was on his back most of the day.
But that's the thing is going into the bye week, losing that game. Now you get a bunch of angry practices for that week and stuff. You get Sean McVay saying, "How could we, give up 96 yards of passing and still lose this game?"
Well, guess what? They're going to learn real hard, Russell Wilson, when they give up 324 yards passing. They can lose that way too.
Yeah. How many yards did Jared Goff throw for in this game?
Look, I might be wrong here. You might be right. I'm going to live and die with Seattle over the Rams because
No. But how many yards does Jared Goff throw for in this game?
Oh, he's going to throw for 270.
I think you're low. I think
I might be
3
low.
bills easy.
It's probably 3 bills easy.
We just saw Josh Allen, who looked lost for a month, throw up 4 bills.
I have no faith in the Rams. I don't. This is a game they should win. Seattle's lost 2 games in a row on the road. Seattle's starting to, have some questions creeping in there. And this is exactly why the smart bet is probably the Rams, but I'm going to be the not smart guy again. And I'm going to take Seattle, and we'll see what happens. So this will be another fun one for us to watch. Baltimore at New England, Sunday Night Football. Baltimore is a 7-point favorite in this one. 43.5 is the number. I'll make this easy. Baltimore. And I'll take the over because I think even for that, it's a little low. Like that's a 43 in 2020 is just low. I'm sorry. Like it's going to get over that probably, I think.
I mean, when New England is out there barely beating the Jets, you know just how bad it's going for them. So I'm lockstep. Baltimore, and the over. I think they get most of the points towards this over in this game. The Patriots are a mess right now. So I don't think Cam Newton's going to last more than a year. They are going to be looking for a quarterback hard this offseason because going from Brady to anybody is rough, but it ain't working right now.
No, it's definitely not working right now. And look, that's why I wanted to lose to the Jets. You know what? Yeah. I'm gonna change my tune on this. I'm gonna go to the under in this New England game.
Under? You just don't think they could score any points?
No, I've looked at my board and I have an over in every single game except Green Bay. So you know what? I gotta have another under here somewhere. That's more what it is. I'm just looking at the board. It's just like, look, I just think all these lines are kind of underneath where they should be right now. but this one, this is going to be ugly. This is good. And you know why? Because Baltimore's offense isn't playing well either.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and I think we have to take that into account too. So I'm going to take Baltimore in the under. I'm going to change my tune on this one. Bogman takes Baltimore in the over, but I don't know. I mean, this is like 2017 maybe or something like that. I don't know. It's just not good. Gross. All right. Minnesota, Chicago, Monday Night Football. Minnesota 2.5-point favorites on the road. I think they should be favorites at this point in time. Everybody knows I'm writing the Minnesota story. So I got to be consistent with that, right? So I'm going to take Minnesota in this one. Yeah, they're going to win this football game. Chicago's a disaster, a hot mess. I'll take the over in this one too, because why not? Because I did take my second under. So I'm going to be all overs for today, which is going to be wacky. But look, I mean, some weeks this is what it is. How about you? You think Minnesota rolls the Bears here?
Yeah, look, I really want to pick the Bears just to upset you because you're writing this Minnesota story. But here's a stat.
Every week you're going to keep winning, and every week you're going to hate me. It's going to.
I read glorious. On PFF. What do you think the percentage odds of the Vikings making the playoffs are right now?
I don't know, 17%.
20. Yeah,
okay.
It's not much higher than that. So it's not good. Like if they make the playoffs, this is going to be a huge call from you.
If they beat the Bears, you know what's going to be next week? 25.
50-50 probably. But yeah, look, the Bears are reeling, and I want to bet on them because that defense is so good. But I mean, I'm just not going to. I got to take Minnesota. I'm going to take the under in this game because, if we get a less than 100%, and I'm not talking injury wise or anything, but just less than what Kirk Cousins can give, then we usually don't get anything. And we know we're not getting anything from Foles at all. This Bears offense is rough. They're probably going to be missing David Montgomery this week. It seems like as of now, he still has a chance to play, but obviously concussion protocol. I mean, he gets the extra day because it's on Monday, so maybe that's going to help him out. But I am not excited for this game at all whatsoever. It's going to be a snoozer. It is going to go under, and I'm going to take the Vikings in this game because the Bears can't do anything right now.
All right, fair enough there. All right, it's that time again, boys and girls. It's time for the upset special. Scott Bogman and I are each going to pick a game for an upset, and hopefully we are correct. So, Scott Bogman, it is to you, my friend, here, and we always come to you courtesy of the LineStar app right here on the PreSnap podcast. So, tell me something, Boggs. What's the upset this week for you?
I only have one straight out upset, and that is the Washington football team over the Detroit Lions. Detroit has not looked good. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Washington has looked good because they haven't. But I think with an extra week of Alex Smith working with the ones and everything, they can get this right and they can be good enough. Their defense specifically can be good enough to beat the Detroit Lions. So, and maybe Stafford might not play too. So we'll see about that. But give me Washington for my upset special this week.
Well, obviously for me, it's the Seattle Seahawks. I'm sorry. Everything is right. The Rams are the smart pick. They're the smart money. But this is football, and right now, I know everything is pointing to the Rams should win this game coming off the bye, Seattle's defense, blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, I don't trust the Rams. I will put my faith in Russell Wilson to find a way to win this football game, and I do anticipate DK Metcalf making somebody look silly, Jalen Ramsey. So there you have it. Seattle is my pick for the upset special. Make sure you follow us over on Twitter at LineStar App and LineStar NFL, and subscribe to the PreSnap podcast wherever you get your podcast. And you can follow Bogman and myself on the Twitter machine as well at Joe Pisapia 17 at Bogman Sports. And that'll do it for us. Have a great weekend of football, everybody. Have some fun, play some DFS, throw some wagers out there, and enjoy a football Sunday and Monday from us over here at LineStar. We'll see you next time, kids. There's nothing left to do now except don't say win.
You've been listening to the PreSnap Podcast Weekly Wagering Show, brought to you by LineStar. Hit subscribe, drop a rating, tell a friend.